Hello everyone, this is HuskyStarcraft here, back with some more IMBA League, and this time we are back. Oh god, they are going to be laughing about it. We are back with some more IMBA League, and this time we are back to the old format, which is 1 versus 1. Now you may be asking, Husky, I didn't read the title, I just blindly clicked on the game. What is the mode we are watching today? Well, it is, they can see the entire map. It is called All Vision. I drank way too much Baja Blast again. Hang on. All right, there we go. There we go. That is completely out of the way. But anyways, let's introduce our players really quickly. Then I'll talk about the map just a little bit more. Down in the bottom right side, it is going to be Axiom's Crank and his really good friend and compatriot down in the bottom left side. It's going to be Acer MMA. So not only do we have two awesome players, they're also talking about things. I have no idea what they're saying. I'm sure they're making fun of each other. But anyways, they have practiced and played together so very much throughout all the team leagues. Yes, one is on Acer. Yes, one is on Axiom. But they might as well be the same team because they are such good friends. And it does look like right now, Crank is just saying Terran. Not quite sure exactly what he means by that. But anyways, the whole point of IMBA League is to make the pro players feel like they are Bronze League heroes and basically putting them into a situation that they have never been able to train for at all. They would have never expected this by any means, but it does look like they are going to be talking to each other quite a bit, which is awesome, because we very well could be seeing a long game here. So basically, the only modification on the map right now is that they can see the entire thing. So if there was a drop coming from all the way over here, they would know about it. They can see when the expansions are going down. And MMA saying Protoss is indeed IMBA, which I think we can all agree with. Am I right, guys? But also, I like to make these videos to remind you guys that on the IMBA League map, we have just added this new mod, which is, I think it's called All Vision or All View or All Sight or something like that. But again, if it's one of the mods you want to use, it lets you see the entire map, which is actually hilarious. If you would like to play on the IMBA League map, it's currently only on North America. I'll see if we can get it up onto the European servers as well. But yeah, you just go there, search for IMBA League. If you go by top rated, you can find it in there. And thank you to everyone who's actually been rating the game. I think we're almost to 2,000 ratings, which is awesome. So definitely appreciate that, guys. And there's lots of other mods in there as well, like Wandering Minerals, Infinite Money, things build instantly. All units can jump up cliffs. There's so many cool things in there. And if you haven't watched some of the previous episodes, I feel like those episodes are kind of like, I don't know quite the word for it other than always hilarious no matter which patch it's actually being played on. And of course, the whole point of IMBA League is to have fun and just kind of laugh a lot, because obviously it's completely imbalanced. There is going to be different races, different players who really benefit from the changes in the map. But that's the entire point. The entire point is to have fun, guys, because that is what StarCraft 2 is all about. And also, this is to kind of celebrate a little bit the release of patch 2.1. It's not out yet. It's not out yet. There's no release date that has been publicly released as far as I know. But with patch 2.1, the arcade becomes completely free. 100% free. Crank saying, what, you got a third CC? God, can you imagine if this game always had all vision? That would be ridiculous. MMA is gone, hey man, that's kind of the smart thing to do when you can see if your opponent is going to be making anything or not. We do have the Cybernex core on the way. Second gateway going to be up here as well. Looks like Crank might be taking a page out of MMA's book. But what I've always wanted to know with All Vision is when does a player actually lose? Because they can't be taken by surprise. The army composition, they know exactly what they're going to be going for. And I guess it really just comes down to the micro. At the end of the day, if you guys both have very large armies and you can see everything on the map, it just is going to come down to the micro. It does look like the Marines are actually going to be moving out. Now, keep in mind these Marines are obviously super spotted. SCB's got to be pulled off the line, or at least one. Just one SCB. Crank saying, no, get out of here. Mothership Core got to try and survive as long as it possibly can. We do have a Stalker going to be on the way, but the Mothership Core for now cannot take on those 3, soon to be, I believe, 5 Marines by itself. There's going to be the bunker going down, and actually MMA, even though it was a spotted rush, it is a rush nonetheless. Mothership Core doesn't decide to Time Warp, but Time Warp would actually be ridiculous right now. probes are pulled off the line. They can easily regroup at those new Nexi pretty darn soon. I think the SCV, though, is going to town. I don't think MMA is going to be able to get any kills here, at least nothing substantial, and the bunker here might actually complete since the SCV is not being targeted. There he goes. Crank is able to kill that one off. MMA already going to get put behind, but I have a feeling that they may actually be in the same room, and they may just be laughing at each other. I don't even know. I'm actually not sure if they're living together right now. I honestly am really bad at keeping track of who's living where. I will say, though, that Crank has been the team captain of Team Axiom since the very beginning. He was their first recruit and is consistently getting better and better. So I'm kind of curious to see how he shines versus one of the ace players from Acer. As he is one of their best players for sure. We do have a factory going to be on the way now for MMA. That third CC looking pretty darn good. I wish I could get into the head of these players. I mean, they're laughing about it. I do know in Korean that this is kind of the letter. Are they called letters? What are they called? Watchtower? Now, that's something I can understand, is he's laughing about the Watchtower being absolutely useless, which is kind of funny because they're used to just trying to go for it. Now, can he actually? Yes, he can. He can actually abuse the fact that he can see the high ground here because he has vision. He doesn't need anything to spot that high ground. So relying on Marine and Marauder may actually be kind of the way to go at this point. But if nothing else, if you want to play a macro game with your friends, this is the perfect mod to use because you can see if they're up to anything cheeky at all. I'm wondering, is this game going to be like 5 hours long because you get rid of the element of surprise, and that's kind of what StarCraft is all about, is trying to hide intel from your opponent. But in this day and age, man, with spy satellites, what's really the point? You can see everything that's going on. As we do have the stalkers right there, going to be able to take out the destructible debris. We do have the command center going to be moving on out. This is a relatively early third, especially for Terran to be able to already have that third. Obviously influenced by the fact that this map is completely imbalanced. Looks like the rest of the army does decide to go ahead and join on in. But I got to say, I can't help but feel like this really favors Protoss. Because think about how Terran, what they can do versus Protoss at this stage of the game. They can do drops. They can have an overwhelming amount of reinforcements that can take you by surprise. And Protoss, you know, they can just tech as quickly as they want to, as long as they have enough to deal with exactly what's on the map. It does look like MMA right now is going to try and test his might right here. Does force the photon overcharge. There is enough energy for another photon overcharge on the back of that. Does look like, though, the Marine and Marauder are going to be swinging down here. Remember, these guys are not scouting. They're trying to get the army, I would assume, a little bit out of position here. And I still feel, though, like going for drops might be ideal because even against Protoss, you can see what you're doing. Just throwing drops around is really the best way to separate that army. Crank is saying, come on, man. Come on, what's the big deal? It's not like I'm expecting you or anything like that. It's like, oh, imagine seeing you here, except I can see your entire base as he creepily peeps into the windows of Acer MMA's base. And I'm kind of curious exactly what he's making here. It looks like just more Marine and Marauder down there. Medevacs are on the way. Crank, on the other hand, will definitely not making Marine Marauder. That is for sure. But MMA got to go ahead and march on over here. And really, it's got to come down to the micro. And Crank may have got a little bit too cocky here. Sure, he's got some zealots on the way. Photon overcharge once again, but this is really just delaying the inevitable. I can't help but feel like MMA is going to be moving in there pretty darn soon, but the Colossus, once that is out, that is going to, I would assume, put a quick end to this. +1/+1 is done for both sides now. Crank deciding not to start the 2-2 until he can get out a sizable force, which is exactly what he needs right now in that Colossus, as that's what he's going for. So he's going to continue getting those as he adds on another Colossus. Finally does start that 2-2. We do already have 2-2 started as well for MMA, though. Of course, each other is going to know this. They have to be very, very careful. Like I was saying, drops are still good. This Protoss army not as mobile as it would like to be, especially if it goes this way. All of a sudden, Crank realizing, whoa, that's going the wrong absolute way. The Colossus right here needs to try and buy as much time as he possibly can. Motion Core is basically worthless. It does look like no size storm for you, Crank, and this shows you the power of drops. The reinforcements, though, running directly past that Mothership Core. Is the Mothership Core going to get taken out? It remains to be seen. The Colossus here doing quite a bit of damage. The Nexus is going to get taken out, but at what cost? So many dudes are actually going to be going down, but there's also another attack over here as the two Marines able to do quite a bit of damage there. This army has been pushed back, and as I was saying before, even when you know it's coming, Protoss has got to split up this army perfectly, although he is able to hold this off much easier than a Protoss normally would be able to. Colossus right here would actually be taken out if it was focused down. He is able to save that for now. The drop right here, it comes as no surprise, but I'm not sure if Crank is actually going to be watching that right now as he is focused on this battle down here. Does he have any reinforcements? Not quite yet. That Nexus is actually exposed once again. Lots of these long distance mining probes are getting taken out as well. But really, is MMA doing enough damage here to be able to get himself continued in the lead. So far, I want to say the answer is yes. He's got to watch out, though. This army, as soon as he gets blinked there, could chase that down. But for now, MMA just abusing the fact that drops are still potentially so good. But the Dark Templar moving out. Now, he'll be able to see the ripples if he's paying attention. But right now, I don't know if he is. Oh, there's a missile turret right there. The DT's, though, going to sneak on by. The Marauder's able to catch one. That DT should go down, although that one armor almost saving him, but it wasn't quite nearly enough. Even though you can see these, you still cannot see cloaked units, and this is exactly what Crank needs to do, is go straight for the mineral lines to try and recoup those losses. And so far, he is doing that. This is a lot of DTs killed off, a lot of workers killed off. That actually evened it up, even after those substantial drops. I think Crank got right back into this. Overall income is heavily favoring MMA. That is to be expected, though, because he had dropped lots. Oh, this one's still going. 18 kills. It's not done yet. Workers killed is up to 24. That DT is still alive. I'm not sure what he's killing. Looks like he killed off a Marine or two there at the final stages of his life. But you can definitely see how this vision has been helping out both players. There's one thing that limited vision cannot save you from as Terran, and that is Storm. That is one oh my god, that's like the worst choke point ever. For whatever reason, those units decide to march through there one at a time, which definitely not ideal. MMA, though, he's pretty angry. He does have a supply advantage. Crank is saying Terran IMBA, but he will have Storm here momentarily, and he does have enough energy for those storms. And I've seen MMA both have the best micro and sometimes not the best micro versus the storms. We shall see. There is a lot of anti-ground and not really a whole lot of anti-Colossus here. So Crank actually does stand a chance. He is falling behind, though, the longer this game goes on. He might actually want to go for some Dark Templar. The storms coming up. Are they going to be good enough? High Templar getting taken out almost instantaneously. It does look like Crank right away is going to go down. The EMP is a little bit too much. I think even if DT's coming here, MMA should know about it, although the Colossus still able to survive a lot longer than you may think. The DT has not been scanned yet. He wants to get into the thick of things. Is he going to be able to turn the tide of the battle, though? I don't think so. Crank is shouting, IMBA, IMBA, IMBA. There's going to be the GG, as MMA showing us that Terran's still the top dog in the mid game, whether or not you can see what they're throwing their way. But if you would like to play on this version of IMBA League, just go ahead and queue up on the North American server. I believe it's called All Vision. But my friend Mike Zettel, he's the map editor. I'll put his link to Twitter down below. You can always tweet at him new ideas, or you can post in the comments new ideas if you don't have Twitter or whatever. But either way, a ton of fun, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And, of course, I'll see you guys next time.